Today we're going to be learning how dance creates meaning through choreographic principles. Have you ever been watching a dance and wondered why it was so interesting? What it was that engaged you? Well, we're going to be learning those principles today. Come on. Dance communicates meaning through choreographic principles. The first principle that we will talk about is sequencing. As you move, you're constantly sequencing movement together. One movement comes after another, after another, after another. As you watch me move, notice how I move through movement, from one movement to another to another. Notice the squares in this picture. The white squares turn to gray squares, which turn to black squares. As movement is sequencing together, it can often change and evolve to help create the final production. Now we will talk about repetition, which is our next principle of choreography. Watch as these dancers perform sequences. As they perform their sequences, they are repeating movement over and over. This adds interest to a piece. Notice how the second dancer is adding repetition. Though her movement is different, she's still able to repeat, and it is still interesting to the eye. Now, as the third dancer begins to move, she adds a whole different aspect to the piece because she begins to travel in the space. As the dancers repeat the movement, it becomes interesting because they start to do it together. As they do it together, we see a whole piece come to life. In life, there are many transitions. We might transition from one grade level to the next. We might transition to drive a car or to start dating. Just as life has transitions, dance has transitions as well. It leads us from one thing to the next. This hip-hop dancer is going to teach us how transitions exist in hip-hop.
So right now I'm going to talk a little bit about transitions, okay? To give your dance a more fluid look and presentation to your audience. It's very important and vital to have smooth transitions and not a lot of resets, okay? So pay attention to this first clip. That was just your basic wave. And now I'm going to do a wave into a tut. Okay? Check it out. Notice how it was seamless from the end of the wave out my fingertips to my elbow to my wrist, transitioning into a tut combo. It's very vital that transition between the wave and the tut is seamless.
Just as he stated, transitions lead from one place to another. Just as the mouse goes through the tunnel, he starts one place and he goes to the next place. As you choose transitions, be wise and creative in how you do so. The next concept we are going to talk about is balance. It's the concept of balancing movement within the choreography. It gets kind of boring when you start to do the same thing over and over and over. You need a type of balance. Notice how I start by moving fast, and now I'm taking it slow. The variety in movement can add interest. Notice the space I'm taking up. Not only am I moving fast and slow, but I might be taking up a large amount of space or a small amount of space. Recognize my levels. Have I gone up high? Have I gone down low? All of this is following the principle of balance within a sequence. Now we reach the principle of climax. This principle is optional. You may choose or not choose to have a climax within the piece. Climax adds interest and is often seen in movies or reading books that you notice. This just is another element that you might add to your piece. Let's review. We started with sequence, repetition, transitions, balance, and climax. These are how dance communicates meaning through choreographic principles. Thanks for watching.